Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. What's up there? Up top, we got the Instagram. Down below, we got Facebook, because this is it, live from my mother's basement. I haven't been in the basement in quite some time, so I hope I'm not yelling a little too loud. I'm just really excited about tonight's show. We're going to have a lot of fun, and of course, we're going to laugh. And not only are we going to laugh, we're going to eat some delicious food, because we always eat on my food, but tonight we're going to be eating delicacies. Not only delicacies that you can get at festivals, but now you can get it in your house. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So first off, let's say hello to my guest tonight. This is Joe Camerieri. Joe, thank you so much for coming down to
Mike,
basement.
it's an honor. Thank you so much.
We have been waiting a really long time for this to happen, because Joe, being an East Coast guy, happens to live out in Florida now. Where are you living in Florida?
Clearwater, Florida.
So many people from the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, they move down to Florida, and Clearwater actually happens to be one of the top destinations for the New Yorkers, I guess, when they retire. Then Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and Boynton Beach, and all those great places. But when they do go down there, they all complain about the same thing. What?
The heat.
Maybe the heat, but more than anything, what do they complain about? Food. They can't get the food like they would get in New York or New Jersey, so they get down there and they complain. But what do they eventually do? They find a place that was run or is being run by a New York, New Jersey Italian, and then they say, oh, I found it, and away we go. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world right now, and then we're going to find out what Joe is going to present to you all tonight on Live from My Mother's Basement with comedian Mike Marino. And I'm really happy to be wearing these Italian colors tonight. Chest up, chest up. I don't know if you've been watching this, but I think it's ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous. Maybe it's ridiculous that I don't understand it. Okay, the Queen passed away. It's very sad.
It is.
And they have these huge pomp and circumstances, with the burial and the funeral and the processions and stuff like that. But I don't know much about it. I don't know anything like, okay, he's the king now, and then there's a guy's a duke and a duchess. And
all the protocols and all that.
I don't know none of that.
The bowing, the kneeling, and all this stuff.
Yes.
I'm clueless to that.
It's kind of like, maybe because we understand the mob. There's the captain. There's the soldier. I don't know, the underboss, the Camerieri.
Consigliere.
I just don't understand the whole thing. And then the prime minister. We have a president, and then we have somebody who talks to the president.
That's it.
Nothing.
That's it.
Okay, great. Well, it's just something I wanted to bring up. I really don't understand the whole thing, but I guess it's sad that she's gone, but now they have a king. I mean, we have a king, but he's the king of pretzels, I think, and the king of hot dogs. We got the king of sub sandwiches.
Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I feel like that's not ours, that's theirs, but I do live in California, so maybe it's part mine. I don't know. And then we have this other thing that's coming around that our king decided is a good idea. Our king, his name is Biden. And he decided, or I guess a lot of people up there decided, that forgiving loans for going to college is a good idea. Now, I think there's going to be people coming out of the woodwork going, hold it. Why didn't you forgive us when I was in school? I've been working off my loan my whole life. Forgive me now. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have a loan. I got it during the pandemic. Can you forgive me? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take it. What do you think?
I have a lot of student loans.
Oh, you do?
But maybe I'll get to pay them off. I don't know about this handout to pay off the loans. I don't know. I'm still deciding.
No, it's not a handout.
Or
they're going to say,
cancel
oh, we'll just forget about it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We got you.
It.
How much did you take out? 100,000? How many years you go to school? 7? All right, well, forget it. You're good. You're good to go. And if you have student loans out, that means they might forgive you.
They're calling me every day. Hey, we got a thing going on with Joe Biden. I'm like, I'll talk to you later. I'm doing business right now.
Oh, come on, man. You where'd you go to school?
I went to Dunedin High School. Then I went to St. Petersburg College, got a 2-year degree in paralegal science. I worked for 3 attorneys as an investigator.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
So an Italian investigator.
yeah.
It's like, whoa, you never guess what I found out. What'd you find out? I can't tell you. That could be a good routine. I'm an Italian investigator. What do you know? I don't really know nothing. But what do you think about the whole forgiveness? I mean, I just think that that's unfair
It is.
because
That-
there were
yeah.
people who didn't get forgiven.
Then it'll lead into something else. What else is the government going to forgive? Car loans? It's just going to do it. The next step. What's the next thing? You're right. I'm like, don't worry about forgiving me. Don't worry.
I wouldn't mind getting in line to be forgiven for a lot of things. I throw my mercy on the floor of your majesty. Please put your sword on my shoulder, to be or not to be. Forgive me, your majesty. All right.
Sir Mike Marino, I knight thee.
Yeah.
Think.
I was knighted once. Once. I don't know. That doesn't even make any sense. All right. I watched the Emmys last night because a friend of mine is working with Gina Davis. She's Italian. She was part of the Feast of San Gennaro when we were doing that in Los Angeles. And her name is Madeline Denona, and they were honored for the work that they do in women in film. I watched that part, then I shut it off. As a comedian and an actor, award shows, I just don't care about anymore. I think they ruined it, and it's more political than politics itself. And I think the whole thing that Jimmy Kimmel did, laying down on the floor, wasn't funny. It was boring, and he milked it. And if you don't know what milking means, it means it lasted way too long, and the joke sucked. I don't even know who wrote it. And then naturally there's going to be some complaints because the poor girl was trying to give a speech. Now, if I got an award and Jimmy Kimmel was laying on the floor while I was receiving my award and giving my acceptance speech, I'd have stepped on his nuts and say, what do you think of that, Kimmel? Anyway, maybe someday, live from my mother's basement, we'll get nominated for an Emmy, and we won't go because we'll be down here doing a show. That's all I have to say on that. Now, here's something that I wanted to talk to Joe about. We were both watching television tonight, and you know I like to be up on current events. Although I tell everybody not to watch the news because the news will upset you, I had to watch the commercials. There's a commercial on top. See, he's laughing. He didn't find this funny until I told him. Don't you see the humor in this? There's a commercial for how to straighten out your penis. There are some people out there who live with a crooked penis, and they demonstrate the crookedness of a penis with a carrot. Don't worry, look at the camera. The carrot is twisted like this, and they say, do you have a carrot penis? Would you like to straighten out your penis? No problem. All you have to do is take carrot bend, Zeoflex. Zeoflex. If you take Zeoflex, it will straighten out your peen. Your sazich. Right? It's called Peyronie's disease.
Peyronie disease.
Peyronie's. Yes.
Isn't that like an Italian treat?
A Peroni?
Oh,
A pierogi.
pierogi.
Pierogies. That's not even Italian. I think that's Polish. Pierogies.
Yeah, it's Polish.
Polish. So you can either have a pierogi or a Peroni. One, they're both crooked. The Italian version of a crooked penis is I don't know. But the thing is, it actually says that you could exercise your penis into being straight. All you have to do is do stretching exercises with your penis. Excuse me? I thought that was called something else. Oh, come on. It's fucking hilarious. Would you laugh a little bit?
I'm so
Holy
glad
sweet
I'm
Jesus.
sponsoring this show. Zeppeli Mix.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna get to all
I got
that.
ahead. Sorry.
We're
Go
gonna.
ahead.
It's called bencarrot.com, and you can learn how to straighten out your carrot. I just think it's funny because the side effects are you can't use your penis for 2 months. So by the time it's all straight, you can't use it anyway.
It was reported that Bill Clinton had that. Believe it or not.
There you go. Bill Clinton has Peronis, and Monica Lewinsky has pierogies. All right, let's move on.
I gotta laugh.
I have to go over these things. This is what's going on in the world. And besides, it gives everybody a chuckle to start the night off. Joe, where exactly were you born? Where do you come from?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
He's a Brooklyn boy.
Brooklyn, New York.
I sound more Brooklyn than he does.
I lived in Florida 40 years, so that's why.
Really?
1976, we moved down.
So you're born and bred in Brooklyn? Where in Brooklyn?
110 Franklin Avenue, and
He
then
remembers the address.
and then we moved to the island, which was 738 Woodbridge Lane West.
There's a Brooklyn Island or Long Island?
It was Long Island. Sorry,
Oh,
did I
Long
say
Island.
Brooklyn Island?
You said
Long
Brooklyn.
Island.
So you're born in Brooklyn to a
Yep.
nice Italian family, Camerieri. Where's your family from?
My grandfather came from Agrigento, Sicilia, Sicily.
Right.
And then my grandmother was born in Brooklyn. My father was born in Brooklyn. My mother was born in Brooklyn. So most of my relatives were born in Brooklyn. So my heritage is from Sicily, Sicilia. He left the boat from Palermo, Sicily, to Ellis Island.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Back in the good old days, let's say, there was so many Italian people all over Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay and Gravesend, name it, a few different places in Brooklyn, right? The beach area,
Brooklyn is,
big, Canarsie, right?
yeah, that was it. Greenpoint.
Then everybody seemed to have gone out to Long Island.
Yep.
That way you went?
Yep. I was like 6 months old when we left Brooklyn, so I didn't hang out there. It was more my sister and my brother. So I know more Long Island.
Oh,
than-
okay.
But my grandmother and grandfather, both entrepreneurs, he owned a butcher shop and did very well. And then my grandmother owned a fashion factory with an elementary school education. She did pretty good. I was really impressed with that. So I give her a lot of credit for being like the first woman entrepreneur back in 1957. And with all the women trying to say, oh, there's a glass ceiling. No, my grandmother cracked that glass ceiling and busted through it and made her own business.
Hey, that's great. You know, sometimes you wonder how these immigrants from back in the day came over with just a shoestring, and before you know it, they owned a shoe shop. And that's, you know, paramount with a lot of different Italians who came over on the boat who hustled and got in the game and made a great living for themselves and their families. And then their families took it on from there and went further because, obviously, we're going to talk about Joe being an entrepreneur like his mother. Hi, Mike. Just saw you 3 weeks ago on the way. So, all right, I'm glad everybody can hear us and they're watching us. So keep on watching. We're going to have some fun. Wait till you see what we're going to do. We're going to find out all the back roots of Joe's life. So how many brothers and sisters you got?
I have one brother and one sister.
Yeah?
Pretty simple.
Are you the middle child?
I'm the youngest child.
Oh, is that right? I'm the middle child in my family. A lot of people know that. I have an older brother and a younger brother. There is no sisters in my family, so we really never fought. I get along with my brothers really, really great. They've both been on the show from time to time, nice Italian kids. We all have blonde hair and blue eyes, and of course we're from Campobasso and we're Bruzzese. Do you speak Italian?
Very little, I just know hello, goodbye. I set my GPS navigator to Italian, so I know sinistra, destra, rotonda, roundabout, so that's the way I learned some Italian.
Holy shit, I didn't even know you could do that.
Set the GPS on your Waze app to your language. So I pick up a lot of words over the past 4 years. I'm picking up one words, sinistra, procende, polizia, because it warns you of the cops. You know what I mean? So
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Polizia, oh shit. But wait a minute, what if it says you got to make a U-turn? And you don't even...
rotunda.
Oh, really?
There's the roundabout.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That is absolutely phenomenal. I didn't know you could do that. I'm going to see if I can't get my navigation to sound like somebody from New Jersey. And then it's going to say, hey, asshole, you missed your exit. What are you, stupid? That would be kind of cool.
Uncle Vinny would love that.
Yeah. Hey,
Uncle
Vinny, what are you
Tommy,
doing?
sorry.
Uncle Tommy. I bet you any money Joe has an Uncle Tommy in his family, whether it's Tommy or it's a different name. We all grew up with uncles that showed us things that we miss and love, the old school ways, the things that were cool and paramount when they were kids, who in your family would that be?
I had my Uncle Rocco,
Rocco.
my Uncle Anthony,
Anthony.
Uncle Joe,
Joe.
and then those are my. Uncle Rocco was like a genius chemist, masters, and he's a high school teacher, but he passed on.
Well, it's amazing how those people leave just incredible imprints in our minds for the rest of our lives, and hope that we hand it down to generations to come. So that could bring us to what do you do? Why'd you go to Florida?
I was 12 years old. I had no choice.
Oh, that normally doesn't happen.
My
Really.
parents moved in 1976, and we left Long Island. And I vaguely remember the reason was because the Long Island taxes were getting high back in '76. So, and my dad was leaving the sanitation department, and he was a Korean War veteran, so he wanted to go down there and start a new chapter in his life. So we all left.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people going down to Florida, so you're basically a Floridian.
Yes, but I trust me, if I do well in any business, I would love to have a house on Long Island. You know.
Right. Well, some time ago, Joe and I were in Los Angeles, and we created the first ever Feast of San Gennaro in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, right?
I remember that.
It was like 12 guys. Jimmy Kimmel happened to be one of them at that time. He didn't have his show yet. He was on another show called The Man Show with Adam Carolla. And we decided, gangload of guys, why don't we create the Feast of San Gennaro in Los Angeles and see if we can have a feast of Italian food, fun, and frolic like they do in New York City and in so many different parts of the world. Chicago, Vegas, Florida, they have the Feast of San Gennaro everywhere. Feast of San Gennaro starts in New York City this Thursday night, and it goes for, I believe, 2 weeks. We were doing the same thing in California. So why were you in California when we were doing that?
I went out there because I was had the wannabe film director bug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you were in California.
Yeah.
You didn't go there for the feast. You were there working.
I was there working. I worked. I got a job offer because my uncle was a police commissioner at the time, and if you saw the TV series The Commish, that whole TV series was about my uncle, and Michael Chiklis played my uncle.
No shit.
And
Wow, tell us about that.
Yes, I just did. But anyway, I'll keep going. But anyway, my uncle, that was his second show. The guy I worked for, do you remember the Rockford Files?
Yeah.
And at the end of the series, the guy does the typing and does the paper.
Yeah.
Stephen J. Cannell
Yes.
was my boss.
Oh, shit.
And when I got to work for...
What happened?
He
Oh, all right. We'll go to a commercial
No,
break and we'll come back.
No, it was the greatest experience of my life working for Cannell. And then I learned a lot about film directing, writing, editing. I was reading scripts every week. I was in the mailroom. I'm just a production assistant, but I learned a lot. Then I went to UCLA at night to learn some writing, and directing. I was like, you know what? Cannell's teaching me more than UCLA is at $50,000 a year. So I just stayed there. But then, yeah, because of my uncle, nepotism, he says he got me a job there. The first day I arrived in California, I had all my stuff in the Toyota. Everything was stolen.
Oh, shit.
That's my first day in California.
Really?
Serious.
Brooklyn boy losing his stuff in Los Angeles.
I had to go get a job, and Cannell called me, hey, you want a job? And they asked me, hey, do you have a reliable car? And I had to be honest. I said, no, I don't. I didn't get that job. 3 months later, another phone call comes, and I had $150 left in my wallet just to drive home because I bought a lemon. And by then, I got rid of the lemon. My uncle, with his police commissioner contacts, found my car. I got it back. And I got the call, and it was the day before I was about to leave. They called me up. Stephen Cannell goes, the HR person goes, do you want a job? I go, yes, I do. And then from that moment on, I stayed with him for 3 years. Best experience of my life.
Well, there you go, man. There's an Emmy Award-winning speech. Too bad I wasn't laying on the floor like Jimmy Kimmel. He made a lot of movies, that man, and he was a legend. And of course, that's a long time ago. So that's why you were in Los Angeles. How'd you actually find out about us doing the Feast of San Gennaro?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think
And-
I was looking online or something. Online was just internet was just new. This is probably word of mouth, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
Everything-
my boss was Italian and he was talking stuff. So people talk. Word gets around fast.
More word of mouth than
Yeah.
social media back then. There was no
Yeah.
social media at all. But how many years did you work on the feast?
The one I did in Florida was I started that in 2015. But the one in California, I just was a member there. I didn't get to work on the feast.
In other words, were you at the feast? Were
Yes,
you serving
yeah.
food? Were you
No.
handing out slices of pizza?
No.
You just went and patronized? You hang out?
Yeah, what year was it? I gotta remember. What
It
year
went
was
from 2006 to like 2012, as far
That's
as I remember.
why, because in 2000 I moved back to Florida.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was always hosting the show, and I was part of it. And the reason why I'm going back this far is because one of the greatest things that people get at feasts throughout the world is a specific type of Italian. In English, they call it an Italian donut. We don't say that. That's a curse word. That's a bad thing to say. It's a very specific thing to do. For whatever the reason is, it's most popular at a festival, whether it's an Italian feast or another type of festival. I really don't even know what that reason would be, because Italian pastries you can get all the time, especially on Sundays and holidays. A friend of ours stopped by today, and he brought us some pastries. This is a pastry box. Everybody knows the pastry box. Everybody knows the greatest line in the world. Leave the gun, take the cannolis. The cannolis were in a box like this from a pastry shop. In this box right now, you see Italian pastries. We're not going to try them. We could say what they are. There's this color cookie. There's biscuits in here. There's this cookie. I don't know. They're all absolutely 100% delicious, right? You can get these at Italian festivals, but it's not the biggest thing at the Italian festival. For whatever reason, the biggest Italian delicacy that you get at a feast is what my mother would say, a zeppola. Or in English, zeppolas. Zeppoli, maybe English people say zeppoli. So today, Joe Camerieri and his posse decided, let's invent a way for people to get it whenever they want. Make it at their house and eat it at their house. Whether there's a festival nearby or not, and you can have it all the time. So, Joe, if you don't mind, let me grab this.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first time on any show, they can see it in my Instagram, the first time on any show, I welcome our title sponsor for the next bunch of months, for a bunch of shows, live events, Instagrams, Facebooks, talk shows, you name it. Joe Camerieri brings us Zeppolas. Look at this. Look at this. Look at my head. It looks like I'm in the plate. Look at this, folks. It smells so delicious because Joe just made them on the oven 10 minutes to 8 o'clock. No, actually, it was at 7:30. 7:30.
Yeah.
Because we can't just make them right now. We're going to tell you how to make them. We're going to tell you how to get them. But first, I'm going to just make your mouth water while I do this. Thanks for calling in, Mike. I can't take any phone calls right now. I'm really busy. Looks like the play. All right, listen. Look at that. Look at that, okay? It smells so good. So the first thing we're going to do, I wish I had a cup of coffee right now. I don't have a cup of coffee with me. Really, what I would do when it comes to having these, I would like a cappuccino, because this is the real Dunkin', I hate to say donut, but Dunkin' Donut, because this I would dunk in my in my cappuccino. So let's taste one together, me and Joe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna lie to you, I already had 6 of them. They're not delicious. They're fucking delicious.
Salute.
Oh, you mother. It's light, fluffy.
Look, I'm double dipping. Don't do that.
You double dip.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
So damn good. Hold on. I don't want to choke.
Should I get the brown bag?
That's best I do
No,
it. One of the greatest things about going to a feast is the Zeppelas, right?
Oh, he's got it.
Let's do a memory. You're walking around the feast. You see your friends you haven't seen for like months maybe. There's rides. Games where you win. Remember when you put in $1, you right? All these great atmospheric things that are going on at the festival. But in the air, you smell the meatball sandwich.
Oh, man.
You smell the sausage sandwich and peppers, the raviolis, the meatballs, the lasagnas. You smell all these things. But one of the greatest smells is the Zapala stand. And what do they do back there? There's a bunch of people behind the counter, and they're scrambling as fast as they can because they make the Zapalas in boiling oil. Then they take them out. They put them in a big, big bin. And in lightning speed, they say, how many, how many, how many? And there's usually a chart that tells you 6 for $5, 12 for $10, get an extra 2 for $15. And they're in brown bags. Sometimes they're in white bags. And why are they in the brown bag? Because they actually take the Zapalas, they put them in the brown bag, and then on the top of the brown bag, they take a big scoop of powdered sugar, and they put it on there. And then they hand it to you like that. Usually with an attitude like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And what are you supposed to know what?
But first thing you do is you want to step back when you eat it. If you don't step back, you're going to get all the powdered sugar on your shirt. But anyway, go ahead. You were going to say something different.
I was going to say one of the first things you're supposed to do is you're supposed to know to shake the bag.
Oh.
Because the powdered sugar is in there.
Yeah,
you
you
shake it, shake it, shake it. The powdered sugar goes all over all the Zapalas. And then when you take one out, as soon as you bite it, then it goes all over your body. There's no way anybody can have a delicious, really good cooked Zapala and not get it all over your body. And it's expected. That's why I remember when I was a teenager and you shook your bag and you were with that girl that you liked. And the feasts usually come in September, which is starting school, you know? And you're with your girl, you're like, yeah, we're going to be seniors this year. Shake, shake, shake. Oh, I look like an idiot. But the girl thought it was cute. Maybe she would kiss the little sugar off your face. Joe brought some brown bags. I didn't even know you could get these anymore because
We serve it at when we do our Depley booth.
all right,
Boo. We drop 6 in there, shake it up.
let's do it. 1, put them in the camera.
Oh. 2.
2, 3. Folks, there's powdered sugar on them all, but kind of like on the bottom. How many did I put in there? About 6. Ooh, this one's juicy. Right. Wait a minute, we got to get a spoon and put more sugar in here. Hold on a minute.
A spoon.
Hold on.
You got hand gloves. You got, well, right. Today we usually gloves.
There is sugar at the bottom of the bowl,
Throw it in
and we're
there.
going to put it in. Look at this. Look at this. This is a cooking show.
There it is. That's,
Wait a minute now. Do it, do it, do it.
do it.
All right, it's in. Put it in the camera. Put it up in the camera.
Just like that.
Look at it. The bottom of the bag is already dripping with oil. How great is this night? Come on, folks. And ready? Go. Hell yeah. All right, don't get crazy.
We don't fold it. We crunch it.
You crunch it, and this looks like I'm on my way to school with prosciutto or gabagool. I used to take gabagool to school for lunch. People look at me like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Shut up." Oh, look.
Look at that.
Oh,
the camera.
Oh, look how nice. Put in this camera.
That camera.
To the left, there you. Look at how delicious. Look at the sugar. See, they're still kind of hot. So you can see the powdered sugar caramelized. Mm-hmm. See that? Mm-hmm. You didn't know I knew chef talk. Caramelized.
Caramelized.
A Carmel. I know a girl named Carmela.
I can't. You're making me laugh.
Hey, this is crunchy, this one. Soft in the middle, crunchy around the edges. It's not as heavy as a Zapala you would get at a festival, which means you can eat more. He's looking for a napkin.
I know.
Yeah, right there.
All right. Oh, look at that. I like to keep it clean. Mamma mia. I'm going to clean it up. I speak broken Italian.
Joe, tell us what made you get into creating this. Tell everybody up at home, because I can't stop eating.
All right, the backstory is that
Tell them.
it's on the bag. My mother attended the Feast of San Gennaro in Manhattan many years, and she took me and my sister and brother many years. And when we moved to Florida, years later, in the year like 2000, I think, 2000, she joined a Ladies Italian American Women of Today group in Safety Harbor, Florida, which is just north of Clearwater. And they were trying to raise money for their little group, and my mother pitched them the idea, let's have a Feast of San Gennaro in Florida. So they did a good first year. Was on Main Street. There was like 20 booths, but Safety Harbor officials back then loved it. The third year, they had to move to the marina, and it was at 5,000 people a day for 3 days. It ended up being 15,000 people. And then when my mother passed...
Joe, we can't keep going to commercial breaks like this. We're running out of time.
They told my brother, hey, can you guys make Zeppelis? We can't do it. So my brother and an old family Italian recipe checked with our cousin. They went back and forth for a few weeks, and my brother just nailed down the recipe. But mainly, it's all my brother's recipe that came from my grandmother's recipe. So, and that's how we started. It started in the year 2006. We started doing a Zeppeli booth. And we had 40 people in line for 8 hours straight. You go on the Facebook page and you'll see a photo of 40 people in line. And we had 10 people working the booth. And 2 fryers. And it was a blast. Everybody had fun. Zeppelis. And my booth was next to a Felici's Italian deli on the left, and then on the right was Joey Gelato's. Joey is selling Italian ice. So every time people come to our booth, we had the most entertaining. And if people don't have their order, my sister yelled at them, get the back to the line. If you're not ready with your order, you're going to get kicked to the back. And she's like the Zeppeli Nazi. Remember in Seinfeld? So our booth was one of the most fun booths to work at, to be a customer at, and not only that, the food tastes great.
It's like I said, when you go to a festival and you get in line to get your Zapelas, be ready, because they pack them in and they're pushing. They're making tons of cash, and you see all that cash, and the cash has powdered sugar all over it. But the Zapelas are the memory of the feast. I don't care what anybody says, whether you have sausage and peppers, you have a cheesesteak, you have a meatball sandwich, everybody remembers the Zapelas. Folks, I am proud to let you know that Mike Marino Live on Tour is sponsored by Joseph Camerieri's Bakery with this world-renowned, beautiful story on the back and recipe, Zapala mix. So, I'm probably going to eat the whole plate when we're done, with a cup of coffee, of course, which means I'm going to sleep till late. So, Joe, is this the recipe that your brother came up with on the back of the bag?
Yep.
So this is your brother.
This is the whole recipe.
He made the whole thing. Now, folks, we were making them before we started the show. It's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is put some water in the mix.
Yep.
Let the yeast go into the water. It rises. And then you boil some oil. Put your zapalas in the oil. They boil for a certain amount of time. Then you put your powdered sugar on top of them. Shake them in the bag, and you're the star of the feast in your own house.
In your own block.
Your block, your house, your church, maybe even at the feast, or at a comedy show. Yep,
Look at
that's
that.
right. So this is a gorgeous bag. You see the bags are all over the bar.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll have Joe tell you exactly how to get a premium Zapala. I don't know why I can't. My mother,
Say it like your mother.
she instilled it in me. Zapala. A Zapala.
That's it.
She would say like this.
Zap.
You going to the feast? Yeah. I get a Zapala. How many, Ma? Hey! Which meant like 24. How many could you make in this bag?
Depending on the scoop. If you use an ice cream scoop, you're going to get 25. If you use a tablespoon, which normal frying at home, you'll get about 33. It looks like we have about 33 here. I was using a tablespoon here today. Some came out really huge. Look at that one. Some came out looking like a bishadili. Look, kind of Peroni bishadili right there.
Good callback. Good for you, Joe.
There you go.
Bishadil in Italian means penis. That's a callback to the straightened out carrot. Folks, it's easy to make, and you can make a lot out of here. Of course, you can make a small amount if you want to make them really, really big. Best thing to do is make them the size of a little ball, like that. It's cool. It's fun. They're fun to eat. Unfortunately, you can't just eat one. You're going to eat a ton of them, and then you're going to wake up the next day and have them for breakfast. I always liked having a Zapala for breakfast. So, Joe, tell everybody how to get a bag.
Right now I'm selling only online, and it's zeppelimix.com. That's it. Pretty simple.
Yes, it's very simple.
But you
So-
got to learn how to spell Zeppeli. So it's Zeppole mix.com.
I wonder where the word Zapala even came from. Why is it called a Zeppeli?
Very good.
Is it shaped like a Zeppelin?
Led Zeppelin?
What? No, why was it? It's probably... Google it!
Google it. Ask Siri.
Ask Siri.
You know,
But
I should have known that, and I'm sorry I did not know that. Me so much for being a investigator.
this is great. The powdered sugar's included, so it's in here. The yeast is in here. The mix is in here. You just add water, and you fry them. You can fry these in a pan like you would chicken cutlets.
That's right.
I would give anything for a chicken cutlet sandwich
Oh,
right now.
man.
Chicken cutlet sandwich and a little dessert. So this is really, really fantastic. Clearwater, Florida. This is how you get in touch with everybody. Everything's on the back of the bag. So, folks, I want you to go to the site right now and get yourself some bags of some fun, especially since it's September while the feasts are happening around the world. And let's drum roll, please. What does October 1st mean, everybody?
Yeah.
Tell us. Italian American Month. Come on, you stupids. Come on, say it. Say it. It's Italian American Month. And what happens on October 11th? The Columbus Day
Big
Parade.
parade.
That's right. And there's going to be a billboard in Times Square. It's called the Mike Marino Make America Italian Again Tour. That's right. I'm going to be on a big billboard in Times Square getting ready to tour the world, represented by Zapala Mix, or sponsored by Zapala Mix. So I want you guys to go to the website right now. Visit them up at zapalamix.com. Zapalamix.com. Okay, we have some time, so let's have some questions for either myself and Joe. If you won't mind, put this over to the side because I'm going to eat these like an
I'll
animal.
put them over here.
I'm not saying old pastries are good, but this is the best. And if you're going to have something that's delicious, you might as well get the best. And if you can't get to a feast, Go online and get them from Joe. All right? So if you got any questions for Joe or myself, let's ask those questions right now, folks. And then I want you to go to MikeMarino.net and stay in touch because I'm going on tour. There's my friend Vincent Lasavio, who's actually the biggest butcher in the world, John's Meat Market on Park Avenue in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. I want you to meet my friend Joe. Go on his website, grab yourself some Zapelas. You can do it. Maybe you might want to meet Joe and sell these in your store. You go in there, you get a steak, you go home with some sauces and peppers, and then a little bit of dessert. That would be cool. That's a great idea. How do I fix my restless leg syndrome? You have somebody kick you in the nuts. Next question. I get the weirdest question. Hi, everybody. How you doing? It's nice to see everybody. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. We're actually standing behind the bar. I usually sit down with my guests, but we knew we were going to be eating these Zapelas and that the powder was going to get all over us, and I figured best to get on us while we're standing up. So what do we got over here? Any questions for my buddy Joe before we get going? Because we got to go have some coffee. I was thinking we might even go to a diner tonight, an old school diner, since he flew in from Florida. Going to a late night cup of coffee at a diner in New Jersey is a great thing to do and reminisce. And if you get some of these Zapelas, you're going to reminisce about the good old days when you went to the feasts, and it was a lot different than it is today. However, this is feast month. San Gennaro is everywhere. Okay. Your sets on the Oasis were hilarious. Thanks for the great entertainment. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I don't think that's a question, but if you have a question, I'll take it from you right now. How do you order it again? All right. Debbie would like to know how to get Zapela Mix. Debbie, ZeppeliMix.com. ZeppeliMix.com. ZeppOleMix.com. Joe, thanks for coming to the basement. That's Buenos Aires. Joe from Buenos Aires is saying thank you to him. Any other questions?
Thanks.
Do you ship everywhere?
Only United States. But some Canadians were crying up a storm, so I shipped like 3 packets to Canada at my treat, my expense. It cost me $70, and they loved them. So
that is Magdalena, and she is in Canada. And yes, you heard it from the man. So order some Zapela Mix, and he'll get it to you. Thank you so much, Magdalena. Love you, miss you. Stay in touch. We'll see you on the morning walk. My Nona made Zapelas with potatoes.
Yep. There's many different types of recipes out there.
How do you make a Zapeli from a potato?
They do. They put a little potato, they mash it up. Yeah.
Oh, you mash up the potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's almost like a knish.
All right. Thanks for telling us that you can make Zapelas from a potato.
I'll be at the festival, this festival Friday night on my mother's birthday, just to honor her. So I'll be doing it with my own.
Tell everybody, how many people out there are going to the feast this weekend? Look at, here's JJ Facetta. He says, bam, everybody's going to the feast this weekend. Sal Vitale, he's writing in. The Feast of San Gennaro starts Thursday night with, of course, our friend from Italian American Radio, Johnny Mandolin. Johnny Mandolin and his daughter are going to open up the festival, and we're going to get Joe Camerieri to talk about Zapela Mix on Italian American Radio, probably Friday afternoon at the feast in Little Italy. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my friend Gary Pastori, who lives here in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, great actor, tons and tons of movies, will be doing a cannoli eating contest. Hold it, did we just come up with an idea? A Zapela Mix eating contest.
They already have it.
There you go. Well, it might happen. Next week, will we be making sausage and peps live on air?
Oh, man.
Huh, well, okay. I guess we're going to do that. So Joe is going on Saturday. That's really great. Any other questions? Hello, Mario. How are you? I hope you're having a great night. Hi, Derek. How you doing? Do we have any questions for either myself or Joe Camerieri from Zapela Mix? Come on, folks. I know you're out there. We got to get going. We got another 3 minutes before we have to say good night.
I just appreciate
Somebody says hi.
Hey, guys.
Is it sauce or gravy? Come on. We've been through that. You say sauce or gravy?
Sauce.
Sauce. Let me
Oh,
see.
sorry, gravy. What am I doing? I went to the other side for a second.
Yeah,
No!
he went left.
It's gravy.
That's a
for
leftist.
me. Can I have some more gravy?
I really do love going to Italian festivals. I remember when we were doing the Feast of San Gennaro in California, and the carnies came, and people would get on the roller coaster, and people would get on the thing, and it was just really wild. Oh, here we go. Can I put cocaine on my Zapla instead of powdered sugar? There's always a wise guy, isn't there? Always a wise guy.
Get the bat.
Yeah, we don't recommend it. But thanks for making us smile. I hope you do as much cocaine as you like. Hopefully it won't be laced with stuff that's not supposed to be in cocaine. But then again, I just came from the 80s, so forget what I just said. I never did cocaine. That stuff just never sat right
Never
with
did
me.
that.
Joe, what's up? Good luck.
Thank you.
That's from Sal Mazuka.
Hey, Sal. How you doing? I know Sal.
You do?
Yeah, well, I think he's one of my customers. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
Sal Mazuka, thank you so much. Ask another question if you like, and tell us what you think of the Zapala mix while we're reading Facebook Live.
A new customer sent in. She called me. Somehow I called her. She was so excited about the Zeppeli. Brought tears to her eyes because the sentimentality of it, bringing back memories.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Sentimentality.
She's a nurse, and she's like a helicopter coordinator, and I love that because I'm a pilot, so I love like, wow, she's a helicopter coordinator for the medevac, and her and I became friends over the Zeppelis, and she's an awesome lady, and she's soon to be retired, but I sent her up 3 bags, and she loved it. I also bought them a fryer to make at the hospital, so they could have it at the hospital.
Well, hey, man, that's very nice of you to send a fryer. Most people can make this with what you have in your house.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to go out and buy anything specific. I have a nice old school pot that sat about, I would say, 4 inches of the oil. About 4 inches.
Yeah.
We use vegetable oil. You could probably use any kind of oil. Maybe even a more expensive oil. What am I thinking? Olive oil.
No.
Olive oil?
No.
No.
Canola oil. We used corn oil tonight. Corn oil with some vegetables. It came out great. Whatever, but at the my food trail at the kiosk, we used the canola oil.
Oh, here we go. Tracy Toledo. Oh, she wants to talk to us. We can't do that. We're kind of live on 2 different feeds right now, and the sound is going to go on to another feed. Judge just hit home run. Bam, I still owe you a lunch. Isn't it funny how people give you statements when you ask for a question? Okay, then.
Don't ask any questions.
Yes, just give us statements. Joe, tell us how they can all find you at the feast this week. You're actually going to go into the city. If people want to bump into you, I think at 1 o'clock on Friday, if you're going in on Friday. Is it Friday or tomorrow?
Friday. I'll be there Friday. I want to get there early and leave early. So maybe about, my goal is to get there noon, and then we'll go from there.
So at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I might go into the city too, because I want to be part of my friend Gary Pastore's cannoli eating contest. And I want to see my friend Johnny Mandolin and be on his show, Italian American Radio as well, and a couple other guys that we want to see in the city. So I might be going in as well. Great job, Joe. One flavor or multiple?
Aha!
That's coming from a guy named Mark Olivito. Does it come in more than one flavor?
I am doing the research, and this is the first time I'll probably announce this, but I'm working on another flavor.
Oh, yeah?
So if you guys, what would your flavor be? I don't know, but I know I have one flavor in mind. Now, when we made my Italian bakery with my brother, we made biscotti. So we had chocolate, vanilla, anisette, chocolate chip, chocolate covered biscotti. So I'm thinking I could maybe do a chocolate Zeppela, or now another one is some of the millennials would like this flavor, but I don't know. But coconut But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try chocolate. If it works, great. If it doesn't, no.
What is the chocolate that everybody loves? It comes in the buckets. I don't know why I can't think of it.
So
What's the chocolate? It's like a peanut butter.
um,
Now I'm asking the question.
geez, thanks.
Nutella.
Oh yeah, Nutella.
A Nutella flavored Zapla would be cool.
At our kiosk, we're gonna start syringing the Zeppelis with some Nutella or cannoli filling.
I didn't even know you called that a syringing.
Yeah, syringing.
They're gonna put drugs in your Zapla. There is a drug in this Zapla.
We're gonna pipe it.
Called love.
Is the chef word. We're gonna pipe some filling inside the Zeppelis.
Folks, seriously, you know I eat on my show all the time. This wins. Over the top. I absolutely think these are so damn delicious. We're in so much trouble. Shipping is $10. Is that a question? She asks.
Shipping is $9.65 for one bag, so that's why I recommend, because of all the logistics, gas prices went up, so buy two, and it's $14, so it cuts it down to $7 a bag for shipping, and that I have no control over that. At this stage of the game, until I grow bigger, that's where I'm at. I tried every avenue, so $9.65. Most people that really know what a Zeppeli is and want it, they buy it. People have been buying 3 or 4 bags at a time because the shipping is cost effective that way. And don't be selfish. Buy for your block. Get your neighbor, go in half on this, and then you buy for the whole block. Hey, I'm buying Zeppelis. I want to cut down the shipping cost. I could put 6 in a priority box, which is $14. So 6 bags. I shoved it in there. Came out great.
Fill them with chocolate flavored vodka. I didn't even know vodka made chocolate. They make orange. Well, if you guys would like to meet Joe Camerieri, who will be in New York City on Friday afternoon, somewhere around the Feast of San Gennaro and Mulberry Street, Little Italy, and somewhere near my friend Gary Pastore at 1 o'clock during the cannoli eating contest. He'll give them a run for their money with his Zapla mix. If you want to purchase some Zapla mix, go on the internet, ladies and gentlemen. I highly recommend this. It's coming from me to you, and I'm telling you, go ahead and do this. It's absolutely delicious. ZaplaMix.com. Tell them Mike Marino sent you, and I'm so happy to be part of your sponsorship. Thank you so much for coming down to the basement and having some fun with us. So there you have it, folks. And where are you on social media?
I'm Zeppeli Man, and also Camerieri's Zeppeli Mix is the main one. Camerieri's.
That's the one I've been tagging you. Camerieri Zeppeli Mix
Camerieri's
on
Zeppeli
Instagram.
Mix.
And you guys know where to find me. My tour is going out of control. This week I'm relaxing. I'm taking off. Next week I head out to Alaska, to California, California to Chicago, Chicago to Florida, Florida back to New Jersey, back to Miami. So just go to MikeMarino.net. I also still sell shirts that say Make America Italian Again. Can they purchase these shirts on your website?
I just launched that new shirt. You remember the little squiggly line
Yeah.
in the soccer? That's what's.
Okay, so there's shirts for sale
On the
at ZeppeliMix.com as well. Where is Alaska? You mean where? Oh, where in Alaska?
Oh, okay.
Right there by the glacier.
You know, the curve over
The
there.
thing by the Titanic. It's right over there.
By that iceberg.
Go to MikeMarino.net and figure it out. We got to get going. Thank you so much for being in the basement with us tonight. I want to thank my producer, Tatiana Blue Shell, for always making sure that the guest is comfortable and that we put on a great show. It's cut, it's edited, and it's sent to you again and again and again. You could always watch these episodes forever on Facebook Live or iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Italian American Radio in New York City, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Patreon. And if you can't find me, you didn't look hard enough. I'm Mike Marino. Thank you so much for watching our show tonight, live from my mother's basement. Remember, let's make America Italian again. The motto is you don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my broadcasts by always saying the same thing? You ready?
Yes.
Don't take no shit from nobody. All right, good night. Wait a minute, don't say nothing yet. I didn't shut off the... Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.